Today on the channel, we're back again with another edition of the Kyle Peterson Top 5. In today's video, we're counting down my top 5 Dean Ambrose figures of all time.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another edition of the Kyle Peterson Top 5, and today in the crosshairs is one Dean Ambrose. Not Jon Moxley, just Dean Ambrose. So we're locked into, of course, WWE Mattel figures with this one. I'm sure down the road we'll do a top 5, possibly a top 10 Jon Moxley AEW figures, and maybe a joint top 10 between everything Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley in the future. But figured I'd square in right now with Mattel because it's a little easier to do as of right now, unless things change in the future. What we have is what we have. So it's a little easier to get a top 5 list where you do AEW. We know how often they put Jon Moxley out there on the Jazzwares side. The top 5 would be out of date maybe just 6 months later. So this one feels a little bit easier to do right now. Of course, we will do a top 5 Jon Moxley and then maybe a conjoined top 10 in the future, like I did say. So we'll see what happens there. But of course, Dean Ambrose, a wild card back in the day. And I wasn't super familiar with his indie wrestling, I guess, days before that as Jon Moxley, as we do know. He did change to Dean Ambrose when he did come to the WWE, actually. So I was more familiar with the Dean Ambrose time. That's where I really cut my teeth on him. I remember his time a little bit in the indies out of Cincinnati and things like that. It's pretty much where I knew him from. But Dean Ambrose, I'm going to be honest, didn't set my world on fire over in the WWE, part of the Shield, everything else. He was respectable. He was there for me. And I guess nowadays, I don't know if he sets my world on fire. He's far from my favorite wrestler, and you like what you like, you don't what you don't. I do like the blood, though, and he gives me some blood on a pretty regular basis. One of the few guys that do that in this day and age. But you can't say he's not a workhorse. He's not out there doing his thing. You can't say he's not popular. Some people say he's the GOAT. I don't know if I'd go that far. But he is definitely a guy to be respected in the wrestling ring here in 2024, beyond, and in the past as well. But as usual with these countdown videos, we're going to start at number 5. Going to work our way to number 1. Number 1 being my favorite of all time. Going to ask you guys to put your list in the comments below, because your list, my list, neither of them could be wrong, because they're our list. So there it is. Without further ado, let's kick it off at number 5. We begin the Dean Ambrose countdown, of course, at number 5. And number 5 comes to us from the Mattel Elite line. And it comes to us from Elite Series 58. It is, of course, Dean Ambrose. Got the gray wife beater on, got the blue jeans, and then, of course, one thing I do love, especially you guys know me and my Intercontinental title love, it is the white strap belt. Always love this one, so it gives this a little extra specialness to it. This one also did come with a soft goods t-shirt, but I do feel this one works a little bit better this way. And he did get that, I think that same soft goods shirt might have came with the SummerSlam Elite back in the day as well. I need to fact check that one. But I display mine like this. I think he looks cooler, looks meaner, looks rougher, looks tougher. Looks like he's like a young Terry Funk here in the jeans and the wife beater, ready for a bunkhouse battle, a street fight. You never know what he might be up to here. But a good representation here of course, Dean Ambrose back in the glory days as the Intercontinental Champion. So Elite 58 coming in at number 5. The countdown carries on into number 4. And once again, we're seeing a theme here. We go to the Mattel Elite line for Mattel Elite 48, Dean Ambrose, microphone, blue jeans, black soft goods shirt with the Velcro on the back. And what I really like about this one is the wild man face. Of course, you don't know if he's crazy, he's happy, he's hurting, you just don't know. He is truly a wild man, like, once again, a young Terry Funk. A lot of things relating between these two. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, old Jon Moxley, Dean Ambrose, is a big fan of Terry Funk. So I think that's his favorite wrestler possibly there. So I can see him taking some inspiration there. But this almost feels like a Terry Funk figure from back in the day. Ready, I guess never had a figure like it, but you know, Terry Funk wrestler back in the day. In his street gear, he's ready to fight. He's ready to take it to the streets if need be. He's ready to bleed like a young Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley. But a fun one here, once again, representing more of a street theme to him. And I think we're going to see a theme throughout all these videos with the blue jeans, shirt, and stuff. But he's got the microphone, he's ready to talk, and then he's got the wild look on his face. All day long, it is Dean Ambrose. So coming in at number 4, Elite 48, Dean Ambrose. We've hit the halfway point of the countdown. You got your list together. Put it in the comments down below. And of course, make sure you put them in order, as we always do say. And while you're here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Every Thursday, we got a countdown video. You don't want to miss out. But here we are at the halfway point. We're here at number 3. And number 3 comes to us once again from Mattel. And we go all the way back to Mattel Elite 36. Once again for Dean Ambrose. And we're seeing a theme, like I said. You got the jeans, you got the wacky, crazy head scan going on. This one a little bit different as he does come with a kendo stick. He's ready for battle, but he also comes with a hoodie. And there was a pretty good point of time where he was wearing a hoodie every time. So it does kind of resonate with you. It does bring back some memories there. And when you kind of close your eyes, I do think of Dean Ambrose as this. But I do love the inclusion of the kendo stick. And one thing I will say, I'm not a mint on card collector for my elites, but this one always cracked me up because in the package, he's kind of the weirdest squat going on ever in the package. So that was always kind of funny to me. So I always got a kick out of this figure. And that's why he's at number 3, Elite 36, Dean Ambrose. We're at the number 2 spot, dangerously close to number 1, but we got something crazy here for number 2. And this has probably only happened maybe one other time in these top 5, top 10 countdowns on the channel. I actually do not own this figure. It's on my long game to-do list. One of these days, maybe I'll pick this one up. I definitely remember seeing this back in the day as, I believe, a Toys R Us exclusive. It might have went to other retailers later on, but I believe it started at least as a Toys R Us exclusive. It was part of a box set. It was the Extreme Asylum, and I went back to grab it like I have it. I don't have the figure, so I can't even grab it. Just force habit is what that was. But it is the Extreme Asylum. Of course, the Ambrose Asylum, we remember that back in the day. This is a basic figure, and basics are great. However, at the time of the release of this, I was a strictly elite collector. Set up basic, not buying basics, where now I of course dabble in the basics, but back then I was not. Wish I would have with a set like this. I would love to pick up the whole set to get the cage and everything, or at least the Dean Ambrose figure, as he does come in a straight jacket, which I thought was really cool, fits on brand, would look great displayed with your elites. It definitely looks different, it feels different, and especially basics. A lot of us don't collect a lot of basics. This one almost feels elite in the basics line, and then you throw in the cage with all the extra stuff. Just a very, very cool set that I don't think we're ever going to get again, unfortunately, and it's one that goes for a pretty penny these days. But like I said, I'd love to pick up this set or at least get the figure one of these days. Don't know if it's in the card, and very rare I don't have one of these figures for these top 5, top 10 lists, but man, here we are, coming in strong with the Extreme Asylum, Dean Ambrose at number 2. Like a young boys to men, we've come to the end of the road, and the end of the road for Dean Ambrose top 5. Of course, don't forget to get your list together. Put it in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this very YouTube channel. We got all kinds of content, including countdowns, every single Thursday. But without further ado, let's get after it. The number 1 Dean Ambrose figure of all time, as voted by me. We take it back once again, Mattel Elite line. No retro. I almost thought about putting the retro in the top 5. I just couldn't justify it enough. It just didn't feel special enough for me for whatever reason. But that was one that just missed the cutoff. Maybe you call that one number 6, I guess, if we did go that deep. But number 1, we're back to the Elite line. This time we're going all the way back to Elite 41. And something about this one, when I close my eyes and I think of the Elite line, I think of course, one Dean Ambrose. I always think of this one here with the 2 Boss Man nightsticks, the hat going on, just wacky, crazy, a little deranged. That's what you think of with Dean Ambrose back in his time in the WWE, and this kind of fits him to a T. The jeans, the wife beater, the crazy outfit, the crazy look on his face. You don't know if this guy is coming or going, or maybe both of them. Just absolutely wild, and a very iconic one here, once again with the extra accessories, making it feel a little different, making it feel a little special. This one has always been my favorite, and sticks the landing here at number 1 in this top 5 Dean Ambrose figure. So there it is, Elite 41, my number 1 Dean Ambrose figure of all time. But once again, put your list in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bells. We got videos every single day, and then some. And don't forget about Patreon. Of course, that is your best way to support this very YouTube channel. You do get early access to the videos, which is always fun, I'm sure. You also get all the glamour shot images ahead of time. You get a monthly giveaway, a monthly Q&A. You get dog stuff. You get pizza reviews. There's a whole lot going on the Patreon every single day, and it is the best way to support the channel and all the content it does bring. You can also support the content, of course, and support the channel over at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson, pick up a t-shirt, and don't forget Amazon, Barnes & Noble for my new book, The Complete Guide to the Jakks Class Superstar Series. 700 pages, just shy. The one-stop shop for classic superstars. I appreciate all the support on the book, as you guys do know. You can also hit me up and follow along on social media. SirPaul64 on the X, the _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, and on Instagram. So for Dean Ambrose and the Ambrose Asylum, that I don't have yet, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.